So welcome to this video about stuffing your dog's chew toy, and we're going to look at a few different things that you can chuck inside any hollow chew toy. This is Squirrel Dude, so he looks like a squirrel and he's a bit of a dude. Most chew toys have a big end here and a little end on top. And if you're struggling to keep your dog's attention and figure out what to do with it, here's a great sample of the kind of stuff you can put in it. We've got peanut butter here. You could use crunchy or smooth. Some really scrummy cheese. I really like Pecorino Romano, and I have to give a little nod to one of my mentors, Gene Donaldson in the States, for recommending that stuff. And pure honey's pretty good too. I've also got some chicken pieces here as well, and we're going to push it all in here and stuff it. If your dog is on supplements like any of the Omega stuff to help with their joints or their digestion or their skin, you can chuck that in too. So what you do is you grab a little knife and you stuff a little bit of something. It could be cheese, it could be peanut butter, on that small hole there, just so it plugs it, okay? So nothing comes out where we're going to put the other stuff inside. And you can put a selection of different cheesy bites in there nice and loose. I like to put a few loose things right at the very end, so when the dog's chewed all the way through it, they can find the loose stuff, and then stuff quite tightly some of these pieces of chicken in there as well. And that's where sometimes a teaspoon or some sort of like a thin rolling pin or something comes in handy, because you can really push it down to the bottom. So you've got some loose bits of cheese kicking around there, and then lots of quite tightly packed in meat as well. If you feed your dog meat from a tin or a sachet, you can use the same thing. And then I like to pop just a little bit of honey, maybe a spoon or so, dribble that in. Now you can see why we plugged the bottom hole. All right, there we go. So you get a nice sweet surprise in there as well. And, you know, use the spoon to smear it all around the top as well, so there's some nice yummy stuff the dog can lick off as well. And then I just like to top up, just seal the top with a little bit of peanut butter. And then you have a super tasty treat there with loose bits at the end, really tight packed in meat, a little bit of sweet, and then they've got to get through that peanut butter to get in there as well. There you go. That's tip number 1 for stuffing your dog's chew toy. If your dog's new to this kind of idea about getting food out of their chew toy, I'd give it to them like that. And then once they've got used to the idea of licking all of the stuff out, you can then put that in the freezer. Here's a top tip for you. Wrap it in cling film first, so it doesn't get all loads of peanut butter and doggy stuff in your freezer. And then you can just pop it in your freezer like that, and when it comes out after about 4 hours or so, the peanut butter is going to be really difficult to get through. They're going to have to really gnaw at that and lick at it, and then you're going to have that lovely sweet honey there you're going to have to lick at, because that will be frozen. Then a nice big chunk of meat, and because that cheese at the bottom there hasn't been packed in, that's going to be nice and loose, and by the time they've got all the way down there, they'll just be able to roll this around and get those loose cheesy bits out too. So you can give it to your dog like this, or you can bung it in the freezer for a slightly more interesting and stimulating stuffed chew toy experience.